pinata for the British tabloids. And 24 years after her death, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are now the new pinatas for the British tabloids. British tabloids beat them up every single opportunity they have 24 years after Princess Diana's death. They seem to forget what they did to her when she was alive, just like an amnesia, a case of amnesia or an episode of amnesia. British tabloids forget how they treated Princess Diana and now are now acting like they treated her well. But we all know what they did to her. They did not treat her well. They treated her like shit. That's what they did to Princess Diana. She even complained about it, that anyone sane would have left a long time ago the British tabloids because of how judgmental they were, how bullying they were to her. And now they're doing it to his own son, Prince Harry. And I'm very glad that Prince Harry is sticking to his mom's beliefs, to his mom's life. Henry Morton, who has never stopped making money off of Princess Diana since he wrote a biography in 1999, a few days ago, wrote an article for the Daily Fail, who are currently embroiled in a legal tussle with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, which I must say Meghan has won on both copyright and privacy. And about this case is that Henry Morton, who right now writes for the Daily Mail on Sunday, says that Princess Diana would be intimidated by Meghan Markle, which I must say, he hasn't stopped making money off of Princess Diana from the moment he wrote his biography. I mean, you meet someone for 2 minutes and you write a biography. Does Dark Shepherd met Prince Harry and did 1 hour? You don't see him writing a biography on Prince Harry, right? This is just used as a form of exploitation of the royals in the UK royal family. They are exploiting her 24 years after her death, and they are using Princess Diana's death to harm our own son once again. And I can't believe the people have closed off their minds not to see this, because I have seen it, and I'm sure that you have seen it as well. But some people, some royalists have not seen it. But we must never stop reminding them how they treated Diana. They treated Diana like shit. That's how they treated her. They treated her like a beating stick, and which is what exactly they're doing right now to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle right now. And I'm glad and I'm hoping that Prince Harry is on a flight back home to the United States, back home to California, to his wife and children, Meghan Markle, Lilibet, and Archie. That's what I'm hoping for him, and that's what I believe is on his way right now. There's no more need to stay there anymore, next to vultures and people who insult your wife and son every single day, the William, Kate, those racists. And I'm really glad that this statue unveiling turned out really, really great. British tabloids are not invited to the event. It was really, really great. It's a important way to honor their mother's legacy. That is Prince Harry and the other son. Prince Harry and the other son, the other brother. And I must say that I'm really, really pleased that everything is going so well for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in the United States. They're thriving, they're being successful, that they have a life in which Diana would have dreamed of having. And right now, please, 24 years after Princess Diana's death, British tabloids still believe that they can read her mind. Yes, you heard that right. British tabloids still think that they can read Princess Diana's mind. I believe some of you have noticed it if you haven't been watching, but I believe you have noticed it. They've written articles about what would Diana think, what would she be doing. And the thing is, they continue what they're doing because they believe that this actually sells newspapers. The unveiling of the Princess Diana statue has been turned by the British tabloids into drama of the relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William. This is a ceremony honoring the late Princess Diana. It is not an opportunity for the British tabloids to look at the relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William, but they're doing it so they can sell newspapers. That's their business model, a business model for hate for profit, for incitement of hate against Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Recently, we've heard from royal experts, this royal carnival of experts like Rebecca English, complaining that the recent ceremony held by Prince Harry at Well Child Awards was actually a private event. And you know what? I'm very happy that they've lost their minds, that they are unhappy about that, because Prince Harry doesn't want his visit to be turned into a circus by British tabloids, which we know only they can do. And I'm very happy for Prince Harry remaining and making it perfectly clear that British tabloids are not invited to the event of the unveiling of the Princess Diana statue. After every single thing that they've done to Prince Harry's mother, why do they want to be invited? We know they bullied her, they harassed her. The day that she lost her life, they were insulting her and plastering insults all across the front pages over her relationship with Dodi Fayed, whom both of them tragically lost their lives 24 years ago. And still, even now, the British tabloids have not stopped commercializing Princess Diana and her memory. And it's very, very wrong. And I'm glad that only one son, Prince Harry, has made it perfectly clear that they will not be allowed to commercialize such an important event for their family and the memory of his mother, Princess Diana. This has also been an opportunity for the British tabloids to start talking about what would Princess Diana be feeling, or celebrating Diana's 60. It is not celebrating Diana's 60. Diana is already dead. She lost her life because of the British tabloids harassing her. It's celebrating the memory of Princess Diana, her impact, the lives that she has touched. But British tabloids have already begun talking about what would Princess Diana be thinking about right now if she was still alive. She's not. You harassed her to death. She lost her life because of you. And I believe that it's wrong what British tabloids have been doing. Princess Diana lost her life because of them. They know that, I know that, you know that, every single person knows that. And Prince Harry has made it perfectly clear that they are not invited to the event at the unveiling of Princess Diana's statue. And it's only a few days before, it's only a day before the unveiling of the statue. And I can tell you one thing for sure, is that the British tabloids have already begun talking about what would Princess Diana be thinking, what would she think about an alleged rift between Prince Harry and Prince William, which is completely wrong. This is about honoring her legacy that has impacted so many lives across the entire world. And I'm glad that one son is actually sticking to her memory and honoring her memory. The other brother called her paranoid, which is completely wrong. In yesterday's Times, Melanie Phillips took a shot with a column headlined, "Diana is an emblem of our self-absorbed times," using the statue unveiling as a catalyst for some cold psychology, cheap moralizing, and bitter finger-pointing. Her specialty? The deck says it all. Death of the troubled princess marked the moment we began to wallow in victimhood. Phillips continued in the same chattering manner. All those thousands were mourning someone they had never met. They knew only the media image which the princess had carefully cultivated, largely to hurt Prince Charles and damage the monarchy by declaring themselves to be grieving. These mourners devalued the real grief felt over the loss of those who were truly close to us. The emotional display over Diana's death seemed largely to be projected resentment at the institution she had blamed for her distress. An ugly mood rapidly developed and for a time seemed to threaten the monarchy itself. This was based on the belief that the failure of Prince Charles and the Queen to emote in public over Diana's death was proof of their heartlessness. Yet no one knew what Prince Charles or the Queen actually felt any more than they knew Diana. But every single person saw the generosity of Princess Diana. We all saw it. So we didn't have to know. We saw what she did for people all around the world. As is often the case with British columnists, Phillips removes a player from the scene, the media itself. After conducting a handbrake turn in their attitude to Diana as soon as she died during a pursuit by paparazzi, remember, papers turned their eye on the Queen and the royal family's callousness as an effective distraction tactic. The ugly move did not simply develop as Phillips put it, but was stalked and encouraged by the press. Hours before the crash, the News of the World published a two-page exclusive attacking Diana with the headline, "Troubled Prince William will today demand his mother, Princess Diana." We saw how the British tabloids turned immediately after Princess Diana died. They turned their anger, their ire to the royal family. We saw immediately how they completely turned against the royal family. That's the British contract, the invisible contract that they have with them. They bully people, they insult people, but when things go wrong, they don't put blames upon themselves. They put blames on the people telling them what to do. And that's the farm. They told the British tabloids to bully Princess Diana just like they're doing now, bullying Meghan. So the headline troubled Prince William will today demand that his mother, Princess Diana, dump her Playboy lover, Harrod's heir Dodi Al-Fayed. It was byline to Clive Goodman, the paper's royal editor, who was later jailed for phone hacking. On the same day, The Times, where Philip was to wash up in 1998, featured Oliver James psychoanalyzing Diana, while her then home of The Observer included Mrs. Blair's diary columns faithfully concluding Diana has said publicly that the Tories were hopeless. It always slightly amazes me how the press picks up on stuff like this as if it were compelling genius insights of wisdom and Shavian wit, as opposed to the utterance of a woman who, if her IQ were 5 points lower, would have to be watered daily. Once the news broke, the greatest reverse ferrets in British newspaper history took place, and there was more back-passing than during a heated game of Monopoly. As the news pages threw around praise where just a day before it had been buckets of shit, the editorials carried to shift the blame. The Daily Mirror, which had been as ravenous a consumer of Princess Diana pictures as any of the red tops, wrote, there are a number of unanswered questions about the exact behavior of French photographers and why Diana's car was going at 100 mph in a 30 mph limit. But today is not the time to analyze or discuss this important issue. You see, they defend themselves. After what they did, they defend themselves. Curiously, the right time never did arrive. The Daily Mail, which is once again engaged in both picking over the details of Diana's death and hounding her youngest son, wrote back then that the questions of privacy will not go away for the British press, nor moreover for the media as a whole, but these are issues for another day. You see, defending themselves. They work as a protection racket for each other. They defend themselves. The papers, so the Daily Express, which increasingly became the Daily Diana in the years after her death, and now it's become the Daily Meghan and Harry, took a similar look over their style line with Ben opinioning. Who is to blame? Why do we feel so great a sense of loss? What will be the implications? Such problems are for tomorrow, not today. Again, they're deflecting. So yesterday, Phillips concluded a column with lines seemingly as solid as a statue she's banging on about. Many put Diana on a pedestal. Now she really is to stand on a plinth. The public are being urged to turn her statue into another shrine of victimhood. What will be unveiled this week is not just a memorial to a tragically lost mother and troubled soul, but to an emblem of our topsy-turvy, self-absorbed, and emotionally incontinent era. But in truth, she's pulling out one of her greatest hits. When someone is a columnist for as long as Phillips has been, started out in that line of work back in 1987. You're bound to start repeating yourself. Just 4 years ago, she wrote a column for the Times with the headline, "We don't need the cult of Diana revived again." Sound familiar? Just before they started bullying Meghan Markle and harassing her, which they've been doing for years and years. A column yesterday echoes the lines she wrote back in 2017, where 21 Phillips writes of a cellophane festoon shrine to victimhood. At 2017, Incarnation concluded, "We seem to be back where we started with the self-absorption, the sentimentality, and the cellophane." Presumably, she'll dust these profound thoughts of again next year for the 25th anniversary of Diana's death. And you see, there's this tweet which someone wrote, "Interesting that Prince Harry can talk about a child without being called a traitor. But the Middletons are popping up all over the place, letting the world know they are better than Charles." Again, a competition between House of Middletons and Prince Harry. They're not supposed to be in competition. Harry lives on the other side of the world. There's no need for competition. So Princess Diana would have turned 60 this week. It's a major hurdle in any woman's life, but I reckon Diana would have surmounted it with aplomb. With the dodgy post-divorce boyfriends behind her, she would finally have found someone to give her the adoration and acceptance she failed to find in her first marriage. An American probably, a wealthy humanitarian certainly. It goes without saying Diana would have been the best granny in the world. She was potty about children, and they were potty about her. She has 5 grandchildren who she will never meet because of the British tabloids. Although both her sons strives to make the mother's memory come alive for them. Actually, it's one son, Prince Harry. The other called her paranoid. Dodi Fayed, who was Diana's boyfriend at the time of her death, is deleted from history here in favor of an imagined American. Pearson even suggests that Diana might have coupled with Brad Pitt. You see, once again, it's completely racism. We all know that Dodi Fayed wasn't complete white. Now this commentary is trying to pair her with the white guy. It's completely racism, which is what they are doing right now to Meghan Markle. So in the case of today's columnist, Pearson records imagining are just dreams rather than dangerous. She applies the grotesque sentimentality of her fiction and realistic and sappy romance. As one review described her second novel to real people, imagine that she can transport herself into Prince Harry's mind. But that's what they've been doing for years, and it needs to stop. It needs to be called out. It needs to stop. They need to stop bullying Prince Harry. They need to stop the obsession with them. They need to stop imagining themselves being the memories of Prince Harry and Princess Diana. And that's what I'm going to say for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to join our ever-growing family on YouTube. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We love you guys. We saw how the British tabloids turned immediately after Princess Diana died. They turned their anger, their ire to the royal family. We saw immediately how they completely turned against the royal family. That's the British contract, the invisible contract that they have with them. They bully people, they insult people, but when things go wrong, they don't put blames upon themselves. They put blames on the people telling them what to do. And that's the farm. They told the British tabloids to bully Princess Diana just like they're doing now, bullying Meghan. So the headline troubled Prince William will today demand that his mother, Princess Diana, dump her playboy lover, Harrod's heir Dodi Al-Fayed. It was byline to Clive Goodman, the paper's royal editor, who was later jailed for phone hacking. On the same day, The Times, where Philip was to wash up in 1998, featured Oliver James psychoanalyzing Diana, while her then home of The Observer included the Mrs. Blair diary columns faithfully concluding Diana has said publicly that the Tories were hopeless. It always slightly amazes me how the press picks up on stuff like this as if it were compelling genius insights of wisdom and Shavian wit, as opposed to the litterings of a woman who, if her IQ were 5 points lower, would have to be watered daily. Once the news broke, the greatest reverse ferrets in British newspaper history took place, and there was more back-passing than during a heated game of Monopoly. As the news pages threw around praise where just a day before it had been buckets of shit, the editorials carried to shift the blame. The Daily Mirror, which had been as ravenous a consumer of Princess Diana pictures as any of the Red Tops, wrote, there are a number of unanswered questions about the exact behavior of French photographers and why Diana's car was going at 100 mph in a 30 mph limit. But today is not the time to analyze or discuss this important issue. You see, they defend themselves. After what they did, they defend themselves. Curiously, the right time never did arrive. The Daily Mail, which is once again engaged in both picking over the details of Diana's death and hounding her youngest son, wrote back then that the questions of privacy will not go away for the British press, nor moreover for the media as a whole, but these are issues for another day. You see, defending themselves. They work as a protection racket for each other. They defend themselves. The papers, so the Daily Express, which increasingly became the Daily Diana in the years after her death, and now it's become the Daily Meghan and Harry, took a similar look over their style line with Ben opinioning. Who is to blame? Why do we feel so great a sense of loss? What will be the implications? Such problems are for tomorrow, not today. Again, they're deflecting. So yesterday, Phillips concluded a column with lines seemingly as solid as a statue. She's banging on about many put Diana on a pedestal. Now she really is to stand on a plinth. The public are being urged to turn her statue into another shrine of victimhood. What will be unveiled this week is not just a memorial to a tragically lost mother and troubled soul, but to an emblem of our topsy-turvy, self-absorbed, and emotionally incontinent era. But in truth, she's pulling out one of her greatest hits. When someone is a columnist for as long as Phillips has been, started out in that line of work back in 1987. You're bound to start repeating yourself. Just 4 years ago, shot a column for the Times with the headline, "We don't need the cult of Diana revived again." Sound familiar? Just before they started bullying Meghan Markle and harassing her, which they've been doing for years and years. A column yesterday echoes the lines she wrote back in 2017, where 2021 Phillips writes of a cellophane festoon shrine to victimhood. At 2017, Incarnation concluded, "We seem to be back where we started with the self-absorption, the sentimentality, and the cellophane." Presumably, she'll dust these profound thoughts of again next year for the 25th anniversary of Diana's death. And you see, there's this tweet which someone wrote. Interesting that Prince Harry can talk about a child without being called a traitor. But the Middletons are popping up all over the place, letting the world know they are better than Charles. Again, a competition between House of Middletons and Prince Harry. They're not supposed to be in competition. Harry lives on the other side of the world. There's no need for competition. So Princess Diana would have turned 60 this week. It's a major hurdle in any woman's life. But I reckon Diana would have surmounted it with aplomb. With the dodgy post-divorce boyfriends behind her, she would finally have found someone to give her the adoration and acceptance she failed to find in her first marriage. An American probably, a wealthy humanitarian certainly. It goes without saying Diana would have been the best granny in the world. She was potty about children and they were potty about her. She has 5 grandchildren who she will never meet because of the British tabloids. Although both her sons strives to make the mother's memory come alive for them. Actually, it's one son, Prince Harry. The other called her paranoid. Dodi Fayed, who was Diana's boyfriend at the time of her death, is deleted from history here in favor of an imagined American. Pearson even suggests that Diana might have coupled with Brad Pitt. You see, once again, it's completely racism. We all know that Dodi Fayed wasn't complete white. Now this commentary is trying to pair her with the white guy. It's completely racism, which is what they are doing right now to Meghan Markle. So in the case of today's columnist, Pearson records imagining are just dreams rather than dangerous. She applies the grotesque sentimentality of her fiction and realistic and sappy romance. As one review described her second novel to real people, imagine that she can transport herself into Prince Harry's mind. But that's what they've been doing for years, and it needs to stop. It needs to be called out. It needs to stop. They need to stop bullying Prince Harry. They need to stop the obsession with them. They need to stop imagining themselves being the memories of Prince Harry and Princess Diana. Family TV. I love to be back with you guys. And today, I want to say thank you. Thank you for each and every single support, each and every single one of you give me. Every time you watch this video, it means the absolute world to me. And I'm hoping that we can grow our audience. And I'm asking for your help. Please share our videos. It will mean the absolute world to us. And today, guys, we are going to talk about this tweet from Mike Wright. Would hate to be the intern who has to empty Dan Wootton's nappy today. He's dropped a humongous pile even by his standards. So the tweet was in reference to Dan Wootton's article, which is what we're basically going to be the subject of our conversation today. Dan Wootton said in his Daily Fail article, unless Harry resigns from Netflix immediately in protest at the travesty that is Diana, the musical, then he is nothing more than the prince of hypocrisy. So guys, Mike Wright, I love how he responded. I completely like how Mike Wright responded by saying, would hate to be the intern who has to empty Dan Wootton's nappy today. He's dropped a humongous pile even by his standards. So Dan Wootton apparently wants Prince Harry to work with the BBC that killed or promoted the death of his mother inevitably. After the interview, we know that what happened to Princess Diana, she was stripped of her security. She felt actually less secure after the interview. The royal family completely turned her back on her, obviously. Even way before that, the Panorama interview, the Princess Diana talked about her experience in the royal family. I mean, the royal family were completely very, very harsh and bad towards her. Charles, the cheating and all that stuff, and everything was just so bad for Princess Diana. So apparently, for Dan Wootton, it appears to be okay that Prince William works with the BBC that promoted, according to Prince William's own word, Princess Diana's being paranoid. That's Prince William's own word. He called his own mother paranoid after British tabloids participated in the bullying of his mother, and then they have participated in the bullying of his brother, Prince Harry, and his brother's wife, Meghan Markle, for 5 years. Obviously, according to the facts that we've actually seen. Prince William has been behind the bullying of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry out of jealousy of the attention that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have received from the public. Apparently, jealousy in the royal family, in that cult, runs deep, completely and utterly deep. Each and every single one of them is jealous of each other. And Prince William's jealousy was so extreme that it resulted to bullying Meghan Markle, to bullying Prince Harry out of the royal family. So guys, apparently this trash called by Dan Wootton, this trashy article by Dan Wootton meant to elicit a reaction from many people, because basically it's a non-story. It's a hypocritical story, as Mike Wright has described it. This is a humongous pile, even by Dan Wootton's standards. And someone said here, an unnamed source, Malaika, said, I guess the meltdown continues. Inject it. Top British press meltdown. And I must say, this is completely hypocritical, because Prince William works with the BBC. That basically, by William's own words and own admission, admitted that the BBC played a part in his mother's paranoia. He called his mother paranoid because British tabloids were bullying her, abusing her, insulting her. And Prince Charles cheated on Princess Diana, but still, Prince William calls his mother paranoid, but yet goes to work with the people, the BBC, which he said contributed inevitably to his mother's paranoia. His own words, not mine. Prince William's words. I'm just quoting him. I like to make that perfectly clear, because I don't agree with anything Prince William said after what he did to Harry and Meghan. And so guys, there's been so much reactions to this, and I'm just going to read out a few. So, was this an attempt to distract from this story, or just a random discharge from a particularly inflamed boil on the UK's media's ass? Was this an attempt to distract from this story, or just a random discharge from a particularly inflamed boil on the UK's media's ass? So this is what basically the likes of Ken Keenan was actually saying about this story. And apparently it looks like some sort of discharge from the likes of Dan Wootton, the pile of bile discharge they throw out every day to generate outrage, anger from people so that they can click on their articles. Don't worry, I haven't clicked. I've actually just looked at the screenshot on Twitter, which is what I'm reacting to, basically. And so Pagan Trailway, an avid Prince Harry and Meghan Markle supporter on Twitter, said the Queen demanded extra money during a pandemic here when so many were facing real hardships and going without, and most of her family's official duties were performed over a Zoom call. But turns out she has plenty of cash when it matters. Abolish the monarchy. This is in response to taxpayers to bail out the Queen after investments plummeted during coronavirus crisis, and Queen privately spending millions for Prince Andrew's Virginia sexual assault lawsuit defense. As you can see, the Queen protecting his alleged pedophile son, Prince Andrew. And to be honest, apparently this just seems to be like the normal trash that Dan Wootton spills. We both know that the British tabloids are full on hypocritical. They're all based on just everything they say is just based on a pile of hypocrisy. That's just who they are. And someone here said, Mehek Wal said, is there any parent who would entertain a party by the newspaper who has daily vitriol against their son? Is there any father who would say he trusts the paper that their daughter-in-law took to court and won? Yes, only Prince Charles. Tell me about hypocrisy. Tell us what you think about that statement, because that is basically my sentiments, my thoughts exactly. I mean, Prince Charles cheated on his wife, Princess Diana. He cheated on her every single day with Camilla. Princess Diana talked about it in the Panorama interview. But apparently, even now, British tabloids, as long as you have dirty hands, British tabloids are capable of doing enough PR for you to wash your hands. But the public always remember. The royal family has probably the largest PR in the world. Probably the largest in the world. I mean, they have the entire country's British tabloids doing their own bidding. Camilla, who caused immense suffering to Princess Diana, the palace and the British tabloids, in collaboration, they both worked together, completely tried to wipe out and clean her image after what they did to Princess Diana. But the black woman who never did anything wrong was bullied every single day because the palace just can't avoid or keep itself from being racist towards her. Speaking of which, the Queen of England has secured racial discrimination exemption laws. I mean, if you're a good person, what's the need of securing racial discrimination exemption laws in the UK, which the Queen has? And someone said here, interesting to see what Dan Wootton considers the limit of freedom of expression. COVID denial is fine, but no to a poor quality musical about Princess Diana. British tabloids are probably upset because they can't cash in on Prince Harry anymore. After the bullying they subjected him to, after the abuse they subjected him to, and his family, they upped and they left. By their own request, they told Meghan Markle to go back to America. She complied and she left and she went back to America. Still, the British tabloids continue their bullying and their abuse of Meghan Markle. Long after she followed what they said and left the country, the bile keeps on coming and coming. And I started this channel, Success Squad Family TV, to fight that. And I'm proud of each and every single one of you who are subscribed. That helps me in fighting this racism, this bigotry, this hypocrisy, these double standards, this pile of bile trash articles that we see every single day written by the British tabloids. And so guys, in this, apparently this is okay to Dan Wootton. Prince William leads new BBC documentary. And previously, by Prince William's own admission, as I have said and said again, BBC's deceit over Diana interview worsened my parents' relationship, says Prince William. And then in the future, after saying that, Prince William, the prince of hypocrisy, the true prince of hypocrisy, I must say, leads new BBC documentary on how to save the environment. From the BBC, as I repeat, new BBC documentary, Prince William leads it. After calling out BBC's deceit over Diana's interview. Take a look at the hypocrisy. This is the perfect definition of hypocrisy that Harry and Meghan had to go through every single day from the UK tabloids when they did absolutely nothing wrong. And the people, as Meghan Markle said, they were willing to lie to protect other members of the royal family, but were not willing to tell the truth about me and my husband. Look at this hypocrisy. Hypocrisy right in front of your eyes. Prince William said, BBC's deceit over Diana's interview worsened my parents' relationship. And then he went over and worked with the BBC. Honestly, this just pisses me off. But anyway, we have to talk about this and we have to call out this behavior. Someone said, Nina said, what's the logic of this? William has been giving interviews on BBC, has made a whole show. Nobody asks him to resign. Diana is a huge icon. People always will make movies, shows, documentaries about her. Those fake British RRs attack Harry for no reasons. Those fake British carnival of so-called experts attack Prince Harry for absolutely no reason. So someone said, the True Royal reporter said, Dan Wootton is really scrapping the bottom of the barrel with this story. I guess isn't giving Dan Wootton any exclusives. The other people are not giving him any exclusives. No one is. I mean, ever since Harry and Meghan left, you don't see anything. You only see British tabloids whenever they go and interview the likes of other royals. They have to ask about Harry and Meghan. The Sun has a live coverage of Meghan Markle, a bigoted tabloid, a racist tabloid that inspires a nation negatively to do bad things, as a live commentary on a black woman. I'm telling you, the things that Meghan and Prince Harry have had to put up with, you all know, and each and every single one of you are here because you've seen it, I've seen it, and we all join hands together to fight the racism, the bigotry, the bullying, the double standards, the hypocrisy of the farm and the British tabloids. So guys, I don't know how the Aussies and New Zealand's tolerated his crappy tabloid reporting job. How has New Zealand, the people of Australia, the people of UK tolerate the likes of Dan Wootton? Somebody save the UK from this crap. This guy is a national disgrace. Prince Harry is above all of this, and his Netflix deal will be a huge success. He can cry him a river. I like that. But not asking anything of William, who is partnering with BBC for his documentary. He said they were the enemy for tricking Diana, but Prince William has gone to work with the enemy. William is literally producing a series for BBC, who less than a year ago blamed them for Diana's paranoia. So when did royals producing series stop causing outrage, breaking royal protocols, and being disrespectful to the Queen or bringing down the monarchy? Dan has to put Harry and Meghan into every article he writes to get any engagement, so he'll invoke them as part of everything. He is as predictable as he is vile. Same was with BBC. How Prince Harry dared to be in this dancing show when BBC was treating his mother. Now William cooperated with BBC and this was biased. So this was happened before Prince Harry even the report actually came out. And all British tabloids are bigoted. Every single British tabloids are bigoted. And doesn't Charles have something with Amazon Prime, ignoring Amazon's many scandals over worker conditions of service and tax avoidance schemes? But all that is fine for a prince who stakes his entire existence on public service. I bet he goes to bed and wake up with Harry on his mind. I also think that he carries a picture of Harry in his pocket. The sick obsession can't just be about clickbait. I bet that he was hired because they know that he has no shame, soul, or self-respect. The man is gross. You don't resign from a contract. Do these people understand how contracts work? You can't just walk away from a contract just because you get upset about something or don't like something the other party does. They could be sued for breach of contract if they tried that. I had to read that headline a number of times before I realized it wasn't a parody. So guys, every single person that I see here, every single person, they know exactly that this is just a pile of trash that Dan Wootton is talking about. The man is just a clown. He's so bitter and hateful. So guys, the dolt is so exhausting. Truly he is. William is on BBC and was turned down by Netflix. That's the hypocrisy and the bitterness. They are just mad. Harry can make his own money and not depend on ration blood money. He has to lick everyone's butt to get. I'm so glad for Prince Harry that now he can work, can earn his own living, build a future for his children, and not have to borrow for scraps or put up with abuse on his wife and child to earn a living. Tell Dan Wootton to go preach that nonsense to William after he called his mother paranoid. I mean, after all, he watched what his mother went through with the tabloids. Now, who is the hypocrite here? Certainly not Prince Harry. Someone tell that idiot and stupid Dan Wootton that he just made me interested in watching the musical. What a disgraceful little that he is. So Meghan Markle and Harry now multi-millionaires and richer than Kate and William. Meghan Markle and Harry now multi-millionaires and richer than Kate and William. Probably this is just in response to this because this Netflix deal has them all by the balls. Is it because of this new update? Yes, that Netflix deal is killing them. Can you imagine the same organization that killed Harry's mother and insisted that he had to work with them regardless, now trying to get on that wooden horse, now knowing that the feet are made from clay, they are about to have a fall, the clowns. So guys, tell me what you think about this, because Prince Harry is becoming successful and the British tabloids are losing their minds over it. By the looks of it, well, Dan Wootton would have to keep that same energy for Prince William, who partnered with BBC after he claimed they exploited his mother. If not, he would be a king of hypocrisy if he already isn't. So guys, tell us what you think about this article. Tell us what you think about the reactions on Twitter, because I'm glad that the majority of the reactions has been calling out the hypocrisy that we constantly see, the bile trash that we have to see from the British tabloids every single day. And I'm glad for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I'm so happy for them, because Meghan Markle and Harry are now multi-millionaires and richer than Kate and William. Obviously, they're becoming more successful, Harry and Meghan. And British tabloids are losing it day in and day out. You see, British tabloids promised their readers that Harry and Meghan would come back begging. And since that's not happening, they are becoming way more and more unhinged, because they are finally realizing it's sinking in day after day that Harry and Meghan will never return. I mean, who would, after putting up with the level of abuse that Harry and Meghan have put up with? Right? So guys, tell us what you think. I want to hear directly from you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and tell us what you think about our latest podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed our podcast today and food for thought that I left you guys with today. Have a good day. Love you guys always and forever. Love Prince Harry. Love Meghan Markle. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment below. With so much love, guys. Love you always and forever.